Hey everybody, welcome to this video. Last week when I did the C-spine image review, I talked about making a video on the Odontoid and giving you a couple tips and tricks to make those a little bit easier for you and then give you a better finished product. So we're going to go over those today. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. I know that we had a good weekend and ready for the week. So anyway, thanks for coming. I hope everybody had a great weekend. So let's talk about the Odontoid. So we all know that the Odontoid is the actual tip of C2. It actually sits up into C1, helps keep your head in place with ligaments and muscles. So um, let's talk about a couple tips and tricks to help you get the Odontoid every time. And we are aware in our last video that when we do our AP axial C spine, we usually can't see C3 through C1, and that's the reason we do this picture. And just to reiterate that it's really important that we take this picture every single time we do a C spine. I look at a lot of images, and something that I've seen is people are doing a AP and a lateral, but not doing the Odontoid. This is a very important picture to take. If we took a picture just an AP and a lateral and happened to see a problem with C3 through C1 and that was occluded, we could be in big trouble. So make sure you're taking the Odontoid picture. Have fun with the patient with this picture. It's an open mouth picture. People usually get a pretty big kick out of it. So let's just talk about this. So Odontoid tips and tricks. Okay, get it right all the time if you'll use these, or most of the time. It takes practice. So, all right, first tip. Okay, we want to put the patient's head against the image receptor, right, the back of their head. And the patient can be standing or seated. Sometimes if they're elderly, a little bit shaky or weak on their feet, it's much better to sit them down. That way they can concentrate on holding still, right? So we're going to put the patient's back of their head against the image receptor. We're going to make sure that there's no rotation. You don't want them cockeyed one way or the other, right or left. So make sure that they're perfectly against or perpendicular to the image receptor. Make sure that they're straight. And then we're going to draw an imaginary line from the top teeth to the floor. So you'll note on my little illustration here that there's a line that goes through the bottom of the teeth, and that line needs to be parallel to the floor. Okay, so when you open the patient's mouth, you're going to have them open their mouth as wide as you can so you can see where things are, right? Have them open their mouth, and you're going to put their teeth so they're parallel to the floor. Their upper teeth parallel to the floor, kind of like this is right here. Okay, and then we're going to draw another imaginary line, or you can use a pencil, a pen, or anything straight. Okay, we're going to draw a line from the superior nasion. Now we learned that the nasion is this area right here, right below the upper lip. Okay, so the superior or the upper end of the nasion, right at the base of the nose. We're going to draw a line from there to the EAM, the external auditory meatus right here, or the ear hole. So we're going to draw a line from here to here. Now that line is also going to be parallel to the floor. Now, in a perfect world, if you've got that patient's upper teeth parallel to the floor, it's going to make this line parallel to the floor as well. Okay. If you'll draw that imaginary line and make sure that they're at that level, you're going to have a lot of success on getting good odontoid pictures. Okay. I hope that you'll look back on this and review it and really practice it next time or the next several times you do C spines and you get a good odontoid. Okay. So tip number one, upper teeth parallel to the floor. Tip number two, straight line between the bottom of the nose and the EAM. Okay. Very, very good. So let's look at a couple pictures here and we can see what we're talking about. So you'll note here that we've got the odontoid there. It's actually superimposed by the front teeth and a little bit of the occipital. Okay. So I would look at this as front teeth superimposing the odontoid. Okay, that's what it looks like. So let's go down here, and we've got the occipital right here, occluding the odontoid tip. Um, we're going to talk about how to mediate both these situations. Now, I took this picture off the internet, and it kind of looks like they have maybe a fracture at the base of the odontoid tip, which is scary. Um, so let's go down to another little tip for you, trick for you. So if you see teeth, okay, kind of like this one right here, we can see upper teeth at the odontoid tip. If we see teeth, we're going to move their chin up. And I'm not talking about big movements, okay? I'm talking about a millimeter to a couple millimeters. It doesn't take much to get the teeth out of the way or the occipital out of the way, okay? So remember that. Write it down, put it in the x-ray room. You can put it by the C-spine technique or just somewhere where you can see it. So you take your odontoid picture, this pops up. You've got teeth in the way of the occipital or the odontoid tip. What do I do? I know for a long time when I first started, it took me a while to figure out which way I needed to move the head. But this is going to make it easier for you. So if teeth are in the way, we're going to move that chin up just a hair. Okay. Now, if there's occipital in the way, like this one right here, okay, we're going to move the chin down. It's just the opposite. So if you're seeing teeth on the on the odontoid tip, you're going to move the chin up, right? If you see the bottom of the skull or the occipital right here covering the odontoid tip, you're going to move the chin down. And like I said before, it's just really small movements to move those out of the way. But I promise you, if you'll use the first tip, as far as having the upper teeth parallel to the floor and a straight line between the superior nasion or the bottom of the nose to the EAM, you're not going to have to deal with it a lot. But this is good information. If you see teeth, chin up. If you see occipital, chin down. Okay. I hope that you can print this and keep it for future endeavors so you'll get great odontoids. Let's look at what a good odontoid should look like. Okay, we kind of saw this picture last week. This is a beautiful odontoid. We got the teeth right here, upper teeth. We've got the bottom of the occipital right here. But our pathway to the odontoid tip is free and clear. There's a little bit of superimposition there, but dang, it's a good picture. Okay, we've got good open joints between C1 and C2. Those are called the zygapophyseal joints. You'll need to know that. Also, our lateral masses are open. We've got pretty equal spacing between the odontoid tip and the lateral masses. But this is what you should be shooting for every time. But just keep in mind, if you see teeth, chin up. If you see occipital, chin down. Okay. Make sure you're practicing using these imaginary lines or even use a straw or anything to make those lines from the bottom of the nose to the EAM. But I promise you, if you position your patient, open their mouth as wide as they can, make sure those teeth are parallel to the floor, those upper teeth, okay, you're going to have good success. And gosh, I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful. Please take a look at all the videos that I've put on the Sterling Hub and my YouTube channel at Wyoming X-Ray Guy. There's a lot of good information there. And we want you to get better at X-ray. We want you to become proficient at it and hopefully sit for the limited scope X-ray test. It's a good license to have. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be posting another video on the T-spine this week sometime. Anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And we will talk to you really soon.